Gotta paddle hop that beast. Man, it's real messed up in here. Just like I didn't want. Well, at 2100 CFS, passing under the Mingus Avenue Bridge. Pretty crazy to move through the middle of a city. It's really kind of interesting because it's about a third of the way between two really amazing wildernesses. But to hear cars and people and all of that jazz, I look forward to being below Beasley. But I'll take advantage of the city since it's here and, you know, supply food and do what I can, because that doesn't invalidate my descent. I'm not going to be within a walking distance from a gas station and not go there and get food any more than I'm going to be in the wilderness and have a spring a quarter mile nearby and not take advantage of that to top my water off. So, but it's certainly not a wilderness experience, but yet it is a unique one to see the diversity. So I think there's benefit in that. This tree in the middle is really pretty, how it's just out there in the water. Looks like a weeping willow. I may be totally wrong on that, but yeah, here we are. Here goes the blue herring. Knows he's probably safe chilling on this private land, so. All right, here we go, onward. And yep, everybody's got their signs out to make sure you know that you're not welcome. We are now passing under Arizona State Highway 89A, headed from Cottonwood to Sedona. I'm gonna have to check to be sure on this number, but I believe we are about 60 miles into the trip at this point as of that bridge crossing, which would put us about a quarter of the way. Well, maybe more like a third of the way, I guess. So we're looking at about 203 miles or so. So it just feels good to be moving. Feels real good to be moving. There's the main channel over to the left I can see, so I have to work my way somehow through all of this and get over to that. Boils and swirls, the hands, look at that. All that intense current that you don't see on the surface, that is there. So we're closing in on Bignotti, so we have to decide. We can pull off at 1 in the afternoon and be done here, and then wait for probably up to a week, because it's just not going to stop raining after tonight, it seems. Maybe we get lucky. I hope I do, but whatever. It certainly is what it is. But if I go further past Bignotti, I'm going to pick up another 1100 CFS from Oak, and then I'll be riding this into Verde at around 3000 plus CFS. So I don't know. I wish I knew more about that section between Oak Creek and the I-17 bridge. It's been like 10 plus years since I've done that. If I could get there, that's my home stretch right near my house. I would feel completely fine heading from White Bridge, say, to Beasley at 3000, because I'm experienced on that section for like 20 years and I run it all the time. But it's like the strainers, you know, I don't know what it looks like in there. It's the hardest part of this, is just, I just wish I had someone that, you know, ran it last week, and then I could find out, but I don't. And yeah, I don't like it at all. I don't like the looks of this at all. It's getting too turbulent. Okay. Be on your game up in here, up in here. Whew. Yeah, cool. Here we are. Bignotti. I guess it's better than the small knotty, but oh, rain, why? Why are you gonna do this to me? All right, better get the meditation on. I seriously think up to 7 days before I'm back on the water, and we're gonna motor once we get the frickin' green light from the Dow. We are going to motor like crazy. But right now I'm chilling out in the Bignotti parking lot. It's like a river access point, or RAP. And yeah, here we are. It's getting gray and windy, and I got to figure out as far as where I'll be spending the nights. Legally, I have some plans. This is a day use area, but I'll be right in this area somewhere. I have a few ideas that I've talked to some people about that live on the river area, but this is pretty much about where I'm going to call it. And then I guess I'll be checking in on the flooding, as I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. And I may cheat and like drive around to different RAPs, just because I think if I could catch some like 10,000 to 20,000 event coming through various places, it would kind of complement the film, because I've just been following the flood, and that's been the kind of essence of the lifeblood of this whole trip. And as we know, it's kind of neat to really almost be following, in a sense, not only the flood, but in kind of the season. And that's what I said at the beginning. You know, we're going to finish in summer, what'll feel like summer, having launched in what felt like winter. So one thing interesting that I want to mention before we shut down for multiple days for this storm, minus a few check-ins here and there, is in Jim Slingluff's book. Apparently there's typically less water here than at the Verde River's birthplace near Morgan Ranch. Rain's coming in now. Looking at almost an inch of rain pretty much everywhere from Flag to here. So I imagine levels are going to go crazy tomorrow. We'll be documenting this explosion of water as it happens. We're on day 12. So here we're looking out towards the Cherry area, and Jerome and Mingus Mountain would be over there. This is the Black Canyon Creek that comes out of a granite gorge up that way, which you can actually rappel with ropes, which I've done through it. It's a technical canyoneering route with waterfalls. It's really beautiful. Here I am, day 13. So I'm using a van to drive along the Beasley Road between Clear Creek and Beasley Flat, just to capture 30,000 CFS here is what we're looking at. So as far as the eye can see, it's funny that the main channel, this is my local run near my home, but the main channel would be right here. That's like a little overflow, and it's actually the slower of the channels. The main river is actually way out in the middle there, and it's moving really fast through where there is, oh, there goes a tree. Yep. It's starting to push that tree over, you can see out there. So day 13, we are now at Beasley Flat at over 30,000 CFS. It is covered the road into Beasley Flat. For anyone who's local, if you know how much water there needs to be to do that, it's a pretty impressive situation. This is like a 20-foot hill typically right here, and we can see it's coming across the road right up over here. Really amazing. Last night, Tyler Williams and his crew pulled in here coming in from White Bridge, decided it was going to come up like this and bailed, rightfully so. And As we were chatting, a really nice downriver paddleboard floated past upside down. Sort of kind of creepy almost, but no ability to grab it, but sort of funny, I guess, or not. So the road is washing out. We're up to about 40,000. We're gonna move the truck ASAP. We can see it's now breaching the next little bit of the road and actually turning the road itself into a river. Now over at Black Bridge. Kind of cool how the log pinned against the sign itself. Definitely cranking through here. All right, the peak seems to have been around 40,000 CFS at the Camp Verde gauge on March 16. I'm here on day 14, still in a holding pattern. We can see the log that was creating a small little hydraulic-y recirc thing that was capturing debris in the sign are now way up on the beach. It's gone down maybe about 5-6 feet. So from here on out, I think I have another week of holding pattern as more rain and snow comes through. So each day I'm just going to do a shot from here until the day I leave to give people an idea of the changing levels. It's a real stroke of luck I made it into the city area when I ended up in this 10-day holding pattern, because I had enough food to do it in the Mazatal because I knew a rain on snow could do this, but I imagine I would have been living on peanut butter and ramen for the last emergency week. That would have been a little bit brutal. But so day 14, each day again we'll just have a short check-in here to give a comparison until we cast off down to the gap. Okay, day 15, down to around 7,000. We can see here is our log, and the grass is starting to expose itself now on the bank versus yesterday. Day 17, now in the 3,500 range, and about a ½ to inch of rain. We'll be here in about 24 hours and pump this beast back up. Here we are on day 18. The river was coming down. You can actually see the flow is down quite a lot as far as the velocity and the push. It seems like around 2,500 now, but we're getting hammered by this storm today, tomorrow, the next day, so I expect we'll be seeing this come back up again. Here we are, day 18. Over at Dry Beaver Creek, running around 8,500 and headed towards Verde now. So I believe we will get another 20 to 30,000 CFS reading on the Camp Verde gauge here in about 6 to 8 hours or so. We'll see. Day 19, level is up to almost 50,000 now. We are at a new high. As you can see, the log and the sign are now completely gone. And we are back to square one. So, I guess 7 to 10 days more. These residents have been here 30 years, they said, and have never seen this. We're up about 50,000 CFS. Homes are going underwater. The bridge is taken out in Cornville, which I'm headed over to now. Oak Creek is up higher than what the Colorado River typically is flowing at. And yeah, it's the biggest water event I've ever seen here since I moved here around the early 2000s. I don't want to go too far into this poor person's property here, but you can actually see the water is actually flowing. So it's not just sitting on these properties, it's actually moving through these yards at a few miles an hour. So according to this sign, it appears this area is subject to flooding. My goodness, here we are at White Bridge. We are around 57,000 CFS at this time. Believe it or not, we had a similar level to this around 2019, and then before that, the last time would be 2005-ish, and then before that would be the largest event I was able to pull up on the historical data, which is somewhere around the early 90s, where it was up at 100,000. Oh my God, dude. It's not just damage on the river, it's like damage everywhere. Day 18, almost 60,000, West Clear Creek put in. So it looks like some people are stuck in there. We're trying to get into Beasley Flat at around 75,000. It's still day 18. The road has turned into a river itself. This is the road into Beasley. We're about a quarter mile from the first covered picnic tables, and it's about 3-4 feet deep here in the road. Holy cow, dude. This is like watching tornadoes. This is the road into Beasley Flat. I had to go around on foot, but I'm at the pavilions and they are dry. Anyone that routinely comes here over the years knows that. It cuts this corner off really, really deeply, although I haven't seen it like this. And then it dries up as you make this right bend towards the takeout. So, but what a crazy scene. Beasley Flat, day 18, 75,000. Here we are at Black Bridge. Beautiful double rainbow. It is day 20. The water has dropped from a peak of just over 80,000 to approximately 25,000 CFS at this time. Our sign is still there, which I thought it may have been ripped out and taken away, but it is not, and the log is gone. Day 21, still stuck, 66 miles into this trip, unable to move the last 10 days or so. CFS is now around 9,000. Day 21 still. Just found this kind of interesting. You could tell that rock had been there forever, and somehow the water got just high enough to pick it up and push it out of its hole. Here we are, day 25, putting back on the water. You can actually see the whole parking lot here was covered where I was sitting when I got off the river a while back. Was all underwater. You can see all the brush stuffed under the rail now. Levels are down to around 1,100, and we're gonna make the push finally into Camp Verde, hopefully over towards White Bridge area. Passing confluence of Oak Creek here in just a bit. All right, pushing off from just above the confluence of Oak Creek. It's about just over 1,000. You can see the debris now gathered on the sides. So I'm gonna be really heads up. This next section, according to the Forest Service, takes up to 16 hours to go 12 miles. And I don't know if they just wrote that as a deterrent to stay away from public land, but none of the other sections indicate anything like that. I've only done this once. It was like over 10 years ago, and I don't really remember it. So hopefully it doesn't take 16 hours, but we'll see. So take it slow, take it safe. I guess I'm gonna do it at some point.